The election is finally over. I'm fucking glad that shit is over with. I get sick of talking to people about it. You lose a lot of friends during election season because everybody got a political opinion. I'm still glad you my guy though, even though we bump heads and shit. But think about this: what progress is gonna be made now that yo guys got the House and now that the Republicans maintain the Senate? I was hoping that they would be able to keep the House and keep the Senate because we was getting shit done. Now, what do you think is gonna get done? Nothing ain't gonna get done. When people get in the House and they're in there for 2 years, what do you think they're gonna be doing for 2 years other than trying to impeach Trump? Be real about it. I mean, you kind of. That's a good question. That's a good question. I know my guys is on some torches and all type of pitchforks and stuff outside of the White House to get this guy impeached. I mean, if we gonna be real about it, if we can get anything out of this, we need to focus on bipartisan issues because the things that they don't agree with, they disagree strong. Like it's a strong disagreement with all of that shit pretty much. But I would say if Trump can use some of his influence, because it seems like Republicans get on board with his policy issues. If you look at their voting records, they all pretty much vote for every fucking thing that he's for. Even though they get out here and they scream and they shout about his temperament, his attitude, his tweeting and things of that nature, they still get in there and vote for everything that he pushes, okay? So maybe he can influence them to get us some type of gun control. I mean, I remember when they had that one shooting incident. We got so many mass shootings, I can't keep up with all of them. But whichever one it was, where I remember they was filming it, and he said that with his arms crossed, that you guys are scared of the NRA, but I'm not scared of the NRA. And I think he said that he was for like some type of ban on bump stocks and things like that. So, I mean, maybe the House can draw up some type of bill that, I mean, passing through the Senate is going to be hard than a motherfucker, but if he can use his influence, I mean, if Trump can use his influence and grease these senators' heads up to agree, at least three of them, if he can get 3 or 4 of these motherfuckers to agree with something on gun control, then maybe we can get some type of form of gun control. Going back to the Kanye thing with Kanye speaking about prison reform and his ears were open about prison reform, and his wife was able to get that lady pardoned. Maybe Dems can draw up something in the House that could go towards prison reform, and some Republicans are for prison reform, so maybe we can get some type of prison reform, but I can't really think of anything else. You think it's anything else besides prison reform and gun control? Something else that's bipartisan? Shit. What do we agree on? I'm not for that fucking weak ass gun control shit, I'll tell you that. But shit, we got infrastructure. Maybe we can get some infrastructure going on and lowering prescription drug costs. That's a bipartisan thing. Yeah, other than that, I can't think of nothing, dog. I mean, think about it like this: we got infrastructure, lowering prescription drug costs, your weak ass gun control. I give you that weak ass shit. Your weak ass gun control and prison reform. I'm cool with prison reform. We can get those 4 things going within 2 years. I mean, we can't say that they didn't do completely nothing. Now, here's a big question: is there anything bipartisan with foreign policy? Do you think the Foreign Affairs Committee can draw up any type of bill that will pass in the Senate? Shit, I can't think of nothing that the Foreign Affairs Committee can present to that Senate and then it get passed. And you know what? I can't think of something that might be able to get passed. But you gotta ask, will Trump veto this? Okay, Saudi Arabia. I think a good percentage of citizens and members in Congress think Saudi Arabia is a real problem. The person I see that is really, really cozy with Saudi Arabia is Donald Trump. Now, Donald Trump got a lot of influence over his guys, so you would have to think that if that is something he can't influence them on, that there's no way he could influence a member in Congress, in the Senate, about Saudi Arabia being a place that deserves all this money and all this support when they're basically fucking up everything in the Middle East. Now, I'm telling you, I'll make a prediction, a wild prediction, okay? And this is only if, it's two ifs. If they come up with, if the Foreign Affairs Committee come up with a bill that passes to the Senate and gets to Trump's desk, if, that's one if they could do that, if that comes, Donald Trump is going to veto that. That's my prediction. Trump will veto that bill. I can't see Trump signing it because if the House decides to do some impeachment, I think that that's what they need to be looking at. I mean, all the Russian stuff, we can go back and forth about that, but I think that the real strong case for impeachment lies within Saudi Arabia. And I strongly believe that, you know, without Trump's influence, that this is a bill that the Foreign Affairs Committee can present to the Senate and get passed. Now, they can't overrule his veto, but see, that's the thing. I think that if they come up with the bill and present it to Trump, and Trump comes out and says that he's going to veto it, his fucking supporters are going to go nuts. And, you know, they're going to be like, yeah, we support Trump with Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia ain't that bad, blah, blah, blah. And then those senators are going to be looking at their seats. They want to maintain getting that vote. And if you're not going to go with Trump, they're not going to vote for you. You look at a lot of Republicans now, they're like Trump light. So I don't know about Saudi Arabia thing, man, getting done. I think that will be Trump's veto. I think that will be the thing right there. But let's hope we can get those four things going, and we'll see. Other than that, let's watch some basketball, dog.